let's say another pandemic happens, the company has no way to move on anymore. Their risk on that is only 20%, which they are only covering 200,000 ringgit. The moment there is changes and you're not ready for it, that's when your entire project collapses.
Hi guys, I'm Naz Rahman and this is Wargabiz Wealth Watch. We're still focusing on business loans and this time around to SME owners, especially those who are finding it difficult to find loans from the bank. This is the person I wanted to see. From Intelligent Consultancy, Mr. Edison Chong. Hi Edison, how are you doing?
Hi, nice, I'm great.
Do you see a lot of demand for SME loans, especially after the pandemic?
It's especially during the pandemic that everyone came to us for help.
You are the Sifu I need to see. Come, let's speak some more. Let's go.
So it's interesting to note, Edison, that in the loans market or the whole industry, 90% is personal loan and only 10% is SME. But in terms of value and the clientele, what's the basic difference?
For personal loans, you get people like working classes. Some of them are also business owners, but they tend to find that personal loans is not enough for their business. Why? Because business, they always need to buy raw materials, wages, tendering for new projects, which they need to be financially capable enough to tender for new projects, be it private sector or the government sector, right? So in that case, they will definitely need the assistance from the banks to fully support behind their backs, push them towards the next level.
So when you look at it at that perspective, what are the types of businesses that come to look for loans? Because they can't get loans from banks? Do they have bad credit? Do they have bad reputation with CITOS, CCRIS?
The main three things that the most common ones that we met is they're probably having issue with repayment capacity.
Repayment capacity.
Yes, they took too much loans, right? They already knew they had this much commitments, they wanted more, and banks just don't have confidence in that, right? Next is they don't really have a proper financial planning. For say, yes, taking out loans is good for your business, but if taking out blindly just in hopes to get new jobs, that is a big no-no. Because that actually, you need to service the financing, that is the cost. And what happens if at the end of the day, the jobs doesn't belong to you?
I see.
Right. And another thing that I find it very important is customers tend to have lack of proper documents. They have a lot of incomes, but it's just not documented properly. Let's take an example. I could have 10 properties rented out. I have my rental incomes, but I might have one problem. All these 10 tenants would probably outlive the tenancy agreement, and I find it too troublesome to renew the tenancy agreement. I just thought these are my good tenants, they have good faith, I have faith in them, I trust them, let's just leave it at that. But the banks don't take it that way. So without these proper documents, in this case the 10 tenancy agreements, the banks won't take this rental as my income. So we cannot support the loan application with that.
That's really good. I didn't realize that many SME still don't realize the need for proper documentation in order to secure a loan. I'm quite surprised so many of you guys don't know that out there. So, looking forward, the kind of SMEs that you see, what's usually the net value and how much do they really need? Maybe revenue of 1 million, do you see 10 million, 20 million, 50 million?
We deal with customers ranging from 1 million even to 50 million revenues. And what we really need to understand what their business is all about. If their customer is in the construction business, they are developers constructing condominiums of 50 levels, 50 stories, 2,000 units. 1 million is not going to do the job. In fact, it's not even enough for their wages. So in that case, we will actually advise them to go for contract financing instead, or bridging loan. That these facilities really main focus is on all the contract jobs, and the name says it all, bridging loan, to bridge the gap for them for the next products.
What you described to me just now is a chicken and egg situation where I need cash flow to convince my clients that I can do this tender.
Correct.
But the banks don't see you with money, and then they don't see you having the contract 100%, they won't give you the loan. So it's chicken and egg. Is there anything SMEs can do in terms of convincing the banks other than books?
Yes. Well, it's always a chicken and egg question. The banks is not there for charity. They are organization looking to making profits. right? Business owner, instead of focusing on that particular project, they should have ongoing projects other than this, which brought them to where they are today.
Certain value lah.
Yes, so their past projects, ongoing projects, and what they need from the bank is for upcoming projects.
When it comes to helping out SMEs secure loans, what are the conditions that must be minimum lah? At least, I mean, can you be facing bankruptcy and still go for an SME loan, that sort of thing?
Definitely no. Many of my customers, I mean, they have legal issues, a trade reference. It's not because they cannot pay. It's because they just need more time. When they have issues such as we as a business owners, we have our projects hands-on, we need to manage our staff. Sometimes we might overlook our duties as citizens. So we might miss our income tax payment.
Certain SMEs also want to go for government grants, government initiatives in order to move their business forward. Do you provide that service as well?
We do, but we are not so much on grant round, we're actually preparing for it because quite frankly, there's thousands of grants provided by the government for different industries, and all of them have different requirements. So that would actually take time. And even once we got the requirement ready, the customer is ready to go into it, the government takes time to evaluate. Are they really the ones that we want to help? Yeah, that takes time.
And also the disbursement, right?
Yes. So instead, while we're waiting for the government approval for that particular grant to this company, we will actually advise this company to get some government initiatives loans. There are actually a lot of facilities provided by the bank. There are term loans, there are trade lines, there are overdraft, and there are even contract financing, bridging loans, revolving credit. It's a lot provided by the banks. But the most common ones is that we hear every day is term loans, overdraft, and trade lines for manufacturing and wholesaling companies. So let's talk about term loans. In fact, the most famous one today is also by government initiatives. It's called the Madani program. Yes, Madani program is actually a loan product guaranteed by government agencies, which is SJPP and CGC. I'm not sure if you've heard of it. You've probably seen it billboard somewhere. And they're actually agencies by the government to guarantee on the financing up to 80%. So let's take an example. A company is well enough for 1 million ringgit. 80% of it, which is 800,000, is actually guaranteed by SJPP. So, touch wood, let's say another pandemic happens. The company has no way to move on anymore. Their risk on that is only 20%, which they are only covering 200,000 ringgit.
Wow, how come I didn't know about this for my business? Wow, that's really a good deal actually.
Yes.
And so these are some of the initiatives and some of the vehicles out there that SMEs do not, and you provide pathways to these services?
Correct.
Absolutely great, absolutely great. Can you give me 3 bits of wisdom for SME guys out there?
Re-evaluate your financial planning. That is very important. We never know what happens next year, 2 years later or 3 years later. You probably have your financial planning when you started the company 5 years ago, right? But your budgeting, you should never do it just nice. For example, you probably set aside 500,000 for your wages for your next projects. Have you ever thought that 5 years ago, you thought that in year 2024, there will be changes in the government subsidies? That affects your cost by a lot.
Raw materials.
Yes, raw materials.
Minimum wage suddenly,
Yes.
that sort of thing. So you're trying to say that companies out there or SMEs should be ready to be agile?
Yes. I would say you should leave at least 10 or 20% buffer.
10-20% buffer is a lot, no, for business.
Yes, but we never know. The moment there is changes and you're not ready for it, that's when your entire project collapses.
Wow, it's like a mantra from intelligent consultancy. Safety first, profit second. Do you agree?
Yes.
Wow, I like it. Thank you very much, Atifu.